you have to identify two main type of activities that are required for you to succeed. We have the illusory activity or activities, and we have the real activities. So what I call illusory activities are any activity that can make you think that you are going to succeed, but then you don't succeed. And then the real activities are actually the activities that will help you to succeed. There are many people who have fallen for the trap of the illusory or illusions of certain activities. So, you want to build a house. Is it necessary for you to get a piece of land to build a house? Does a house need to stand on a piece of land? If yes, it means that without a piece of land, there's no way you can build your own house. So getting a piece of land becomes a real activity. But if you want to buy a house, right, do you need to get a piece of land? No, because then you are just buying an already made house. If you were building your own house from scratch, then you need land to go get land. So, in both scenarios, you realize that there are certain things that you do that actually take you closer to your goal, which you need to do. And this depends on the goal which you have. In another example, let's say you want to bake a cake. What do you need in order to bake a cake? So here we are going to find the real activities or the real things we need to do to bake a cake. So what you need is, you need the ingredients. So without the ingredients, there is no way you will ever get a cake. You also need a fire because you want to bake the cake. You need a stove, some form of stove for the fire. So it could be a gas stove, it could be an electric stove, or some other type of stove. You also need to actually go through the process of mixing together the ingredients before you put the final mix into the stove. So you realize that these things or these activities are real activities, what I call real activities that you need to do in order for you to get the cake. In this case, the cake is the goal which you have. Now, do you need to wake up early to bake your cake? No, because whether you wake up early or not, you can still bake a cake. You can bake it in the morning or in the evening. So that can be an illusory activity, thinking that waking up early is what will make you bake the cake. Now, do you need to exercise every morning, or do you need to exercise that morning, that day before you bake the cake? No, because whether you exercise or not, you should be able to bake the cake in normal circumstances. It is not a necessity for you to exercise. You have to be very clear about this. You see, the reason is that there are many people who are doing things and they think the things they are doing are taking them closer to their goals. But all those things they are doing are just illusory activities. If you ask many people, oh, how do you succeed? They will say, some people will give you advice like, to succeed, you have to start by, waking up early. You have to, exercise. You have to schedule your calendar. You have to be hardworking. You have to. They don't tell you the real truth about success. Yes, all those things can make a difference, but to actually succeed, you first of all need to identify what your cake is. So the cake here is the goal which you have. And then after identifying the goal, you need to identify the specific things you need to do to get to that goal or bake the cake. And then when identifying the specific things, you need to make a clear difference between those things that may come up that look like you need to do, but you don't need to do it. So that you don't waste your time a whole year or a whole decade trying to do something, and then you end up realizing that all the things you were doing was not taking you closer to your goal, but was just wasting your time. If you want to build a car, you just need a spare parts, and you need to assemble it, you need some tools. Every other thing is what? Is optional. It is not a must, like how some motivational teachers speak, that, or some motivational teachers teach, that you should or you must. For instance, some say if you want to succeed, you must wake up early. Some say if you want to succeed, you must meditate. Some say if you want to succeed, some spiritual teachers say you must visualize, you must. Some say you must pray to God. Some say you must, go get some spiritual things, support. No. There are many people that have done spiritual things. Even in my country, I heard of stories of some people who have slept in coffins. They went to go for great power. They did occultic things to get power and money, and they don't have the money they thought they would have, because that's not how it works. They were under the illusion that doing those spiritual things is what is going to make them succeed. No, but all they have to do is to figure out exactly what they need to do, like building a car. If you want to build a car, you don't need to sleep in a coffin to build a car. If you get the blueprint for the car, and you get the spare parts, and you get the tools, and you get a workshop, whether you sleep in a coffin, whether you go for a jam, whether you wake up early or not, whether you pray to God or not, if you can follow the blueprint and you can screw the bolts and nuts, you are going to assemble your car.